For over a century, the global economy has hung by a single, fragile thread: a narrow, 2-mile gap in the South China Sea known as the Strait of Malacca. It is the most surveilled choke point on Earth, a place where the US Navy holds the literal kill switch to the world's second-largest economy. But while the West focused on securing the warm waters of the Pacific, the map was being quietly rewritten 4,000 miles to the north. In the dead of the Arctic winter, a place where temperatures drop to a point that freezes standard steel, a new path has emerged. It is 13,000 kilometers long, 40% faster than the Suez Canal, and most importantly, completely out of reach. This is the Arctic Silk Road. To the rest of the world, this frozen desert was an impossible barrier. But to Russia and China, it is the ultimate insurance policy. Driven by a new generation of 315 megawatt nuclear monsters, they aren't just navigating the ice, they are reclaiming it. The Malacca dilemma is over. The shortcut the engineers said would take decades to build is already here, and it is about to change everything. The RITI M400, power behind the icebreaker. The frozen expanse of the Arctic has always tested the limits of human engineering, but Russia's latest nuclear-powered icebreaker, Rossiya, is designed to redefine those limits. At the center of this ambitious vessel lies a technological milestone: the newly completed RITI M400 nuclear reactor, a next-generation system built to conquer some of the harshest conditions on Earth. Developed by Rosatom, the RITI M400 represents a significant evolution from its predecessor, the RITI M200. While both reactors share similar design principles, the RITI M400 scales up performance dramatically. Each reactor delivers a thermal output of 315 megawatts, MWT, and the Rossiya will be equipped with 2 of them. This immense energy translates into a thrusting capability of 120 megawatts, enabling the icebreaker to achieve feats that were once considered nearly impossible. What makes the Rossiya truly extraordinary is not just its raw energy, but rather how that energy is applied. A single project 10,510 icebreaker vessel can crush through ice up to 4 meters thick while maintaining a steady speed of around 12 knots. In practical terms, this means carving a navigable path through frozen seas that would halt most ships entirely. The icebreaker can also clear channels up to 50 meters wide, opening safe passageways for commercial vessels following in its wake. Currently under construction near Vladivostok, the Rossiya is expected to enter service by 2030. Its mission is closely tied to the strategic development of the Northern Sea Route, a 5,600-kilometer corridor stretching along Russia's Arctic coast. This route has gained increasing importance as melting ice makes navigation more viable, offering a significantly shorter connection between Europe and Asia compared to traditional routes like the Suez Canal. The Rossiya represents a bold statement that is a fusion of nuclear technology and maritime engineering aimed at unlocking the Arctic's economic potential. As global trade routes shift and climate conditions evolve, vessels like this will play a pivotal role in shaping the future of polar navigation. China's billion-dollar investment. China's rapidly growing interest in the Arctic is no longer just about exploration, but rather, it has become a calculated move toward reshaping global trade. At the center of this shift is the expansion of Arkhangelsk, a strategic Arctic port that, despite being frozen in winter, serves as the closest deep-water gateway to Russia's major economic centers like Moscow and St. Petersburg. Connected by land through a rail, it forms a crucial link between Arctic sea routes and the industrial heart of Russia. This importance has attracted major Chinese investment. As part of its plan to reduce reliance on vulnerable routes like the Strait of Malacca, China has poured about $1.5 billion this year into developing Arkhangelsk's deep-water port under its long-term economic strategy. At the same time, New Shipping Line is preparing to take a 30% stake in the project, with total investments potentially reaching $2.5 billion. This scale of funding shows how serious China is about building alternative trade routes, which in the end is beneficial for both China and Russia. The port expansion aims to transform Arkhangelsk into a powerful Arctic logistics hub. New facilities will handle large cargo ships and significantly increase capacity, potentially tripling cargo throughput by 2040. This will make shipping along the Northern Sea route faster and more efficient, cutting travel time between Asia and Europe. China has already been testing this route. Ever since 2023, new shipping line has operated container voyages from Shanghai to Arkhangelsk, reporting profitable results and planning even larger ships. Future plans include advanced ice-class vessels developed with Rossiya, giving China access to year-round Arctic shipping. This growing Arctic presence also highlights a wider geopolitical reality. Where the United States Navy had remained dominant globally in the past, it lacked the specialized ice-breaking fleet and Arctic infrastructure that Russia and China are developing. The US has very limited heavy icebreakers compared to Russia's large nuclear-powered fleet, making it difficult to operate consistently in thick Arctic ice. As China invests billions into ports, ships, and partnerships, it is building capabilities in a region where the US currently cannot compete at the same level. The Arctic is no longer just a frozen wilderness. It is becoming a key battleground for trade and influence, and China is moving quickly to secure its place. Satellite Ice Path. China's rapid progress in real-time synthetic aperture radar, SAR, processing is not just a software or hardware upgrade. It is a systems-level advantage that combines satellites, ground computing, and cooperative industrial strategy into a single operational machine. A key example of this capability is the emerging Satellite Ice Path system, built around the reported Xuanwu-1 satellite constellation, designed to deliver continuous, real-time radar imaging of Arctic ice movement and shipping corridors. Unlike the traditional Earth observation systems that rely on delayed data processing, this constellation is structured for near real-time SAR analysis, using onboard compression and advanced downlink pipelines similar in concept to FPGA-based dynamic reconfiguration systems seen in high-performance airborne platforms. Just as modern FPGA SAR systems split processing into static and dynamic modules to reduce power and improve speed. Xuanwu-1 satellites distribute computation between onboard processors and ground-based AI clusters. This allows China to track ice drift, pressure ridges, and navigable channels across the Arctic with unprecedented speed and frequency. While the United States still leads in general space surveillance and defense infrastructure, its Arctic SAR coverage is less integrated and less commercially synchronized, and with China's SAR, US has been completely dominated. China's advantage comes from coordination rather than isolated technology. Through close integration between state agencies, private shipping firms, and space infrastructure, China has built a feedback loop where satellite data directly informs shipping decisions, port operations, and icebreaker routing in near real time. The combination of satellite constellations like Xuanwu-1, shipping operators such as new Shipping Line, and state-level coordination through organizations like Rossiya creates a unified Arctic operating system. It is not just about having better satellites. It is about turning data into immediate economic action. In the US, systems often operate in segmented layers, like defense, research, and commercial sectors working separately, whereas China's model merges them, reducing latency between observation and decision. In Arctic logistics, where ice conditions can change within hours, this speed becomes power. The result is a quiet but profound shift. China is not merely observing the Arctic, it is actively managing it in real time. The Arctic is no longer just an empty, frozen edge of the map where no one can reach. It is becoming a space where technology, trade, and power are quietly coming together. From nuclear-powered icebreakers carving paths through thick ice, to expanding ports like Arkhangelsk linking Asia and Europe, a new kind of infrastructure is taking shape above the world's northern horizon. What once seemed unreachable is now increasingly navigable, not because the ice has disappeared, but because engineering has advanced to meet it. Satellites watching the movement of sea ice, high-speed data systems processing radar images, and coordinated shipping networks are turning uncertainty into planning and risk into routes. China's growing cooperation with Arctic partners, especially in shipping routes, port development, and satellite-supported navigation, has added new momentum to a region once dominated by a few established powers. Working alongside Russian Arctic infrastructure and commercial fleets, these partnerships are helping accelerate year-round interest in the Northern Sea route, while also challenging existing patterns of global trade and logistics influence. The Arctic still remains unpredictable, shaped by changing climate, distance, and extreme conditions that no system fully masters. Every new route depends on fragile timing, which China has conquered,